And for the listeners, you have to watch this and pay attention. Do not be scrolling on your phone because you won't know what the hell's what the hell's
No,
happening.
no. This is, one thing we should try to do is figure out when the cutoff was from like when they started making movies,
Yeah,
assuming you're not paying attention.
yeah, I
Because
agree.
there's
Hey everybody, welcome to the Out the Trunk Pod with Jordan and Darius. My name is Jordan. You can find me on all socials at Jordy B Writing.
and I'm Darius. That's D's I Love Me area on all socials.
And today we're going to be reviewing Arrival. This movie came out in 2016, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker, Michael Stahlberg, and Zima. This movie is about when 12 mysterious spacecraft land around the world. Linguistics professor Louise Banks is recruited by the military to communicate with the visitors. As she begins to decode their complex circular language, she experiences vivid flashbacks that hold the key to understanding the alien's true purpose and the nature of time itself. So I'm going to toss it to you for Act One.
Act one is the first encounter. The world goes into a collective panic as the shells hover over random locations. Luis and physicist Ian Donnelly are brought to the Montana site to answer the ultimate question: What is your purpose on Earth? Ian Donnelly, played by Jeremy, what's his name?
Yeah,
Um,
Renner, yeah.
yeah, I thought that was one of the Kardashian
Okay.
people. Uh, and then Luis, played by Amy Adams. Let me just say, I remember seeing this in the theater in 2016, but I just don't. I remember seeing it, but
Yeah.
this is probably the best movie I've watched, like on my soundbar. Like
Mm,
the noise that the aliens made when they tapped the
right.
glass. I felt that in my living room. And I normally don't give my soundbar a good workout. Just
Okay.
but like this was like it's a good home viewing movie as far if your
It
sound
is.
system is right. So that means just that's off the rip. What you got for Act One?
It's funny you talk about the sound. That's one of the first things I wrote is the score for this movie is incredible. Like it just hits you emotionally. Even like this is my first time seeing this movie,
Yeah.
and literally when I heard the score, like I felt something I had no idea what the movie was about at the time. Um, so actually it was used in a few previous movies, but cause I remember I'd heard it. I feel like I'd heard it somewhere, maybe like some sort of YouTube video or some compilation or some shit like that, whatever. But yes, I thought the score was incredible. So interesting that you touched on the sound because it does feel like you're right there. Like when the aliens like touch the wall and shit, you're like, oh fuck, like
Yeah. And like the visuals of it, how they're like it's hard to make out what they are. Like I have no
yeah,
idea. They could have been 5 feet tall, they could have been 50 feet tall, and you just really couldn't
yeah,
tell.
no,
And I just thought that was like they did that really, really well. As
me
far as
too.
just making you feel like you were in that heptapod with them.
Yeah, because you
So
almost were like backing away from the screen because you didn't want to be too close to some random foreign object.
yeah, it's I'm not a score person in general, but like this
Mhm.
one stood out to me as a non-score person. So, absolutely. Well, what else you got for Act One?
Um, I like that uh the aliens look like whatever you may think aliens look like.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they're real or not. I mean, I think there's probably some other life form out there. I mean, it's plausible. Um, and I saw this quote once. Someone said like everyone's afraid of like what's up there in space, but to me, like the shit that's in deep in the deep of the sea is looks like aliens to me. And I kind of think that like if you saw an octopus in space,
Yeah.
you would call that an alien, and these look kind of like octopuses, which I thought was octopuses. I don't know, and
Sure.
I thought that was kind of cool.
You say plausible. I'd say it's likely. I would
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean, yeah,
be
for sure.
I would be more surprised if we were the only intelligent life in the universe. Like
Yeah,
that strikes me as statistically
impossible.
impossible. It's
Yeah,
just to be fair, the set of conditions that made life on Earth possible are pretty unique, but the fact that it's
hmm
never been replicated anywhere, or the
right.
fact that that life needs the things that we need to, like the atmospheric
Yeah,
conditions, the level of water required, it just strikes me as, you know, and also just like the amount of alien appearances in our fiction and our writing and how that's
right.
continuous across millions of years of human evolution. It's like,
Yeah,
the AI thing, right? How many
mhm,
movies have we seen about like AI robots taking over the world?
right.
And like we're seeing that
And
technology
we have
come
robot vacuum cleaners.
correct. And it's like we have been pretty good in fiction at predicting sci-fi before.
Correct.
And like the
Yes.
odds that we're just wrong on this one, and we as a species have been creating alien fiction for millions of
Hmm.
years. Like it just
Yeah,
strikes me as impossible.
I agree. Yeah, I think there's. I don't even know if you'd call them aliens, but I guess that just means a foreign life form. So yeah, I do believe they exist. I don't know what they look like, obviously. Um, who knows? Maybe they all just look like mammals that are
Yeah.
just in on whatever respective planet or orbit or star, whatever is
Or
out
maybe
there.
it's something I forget which friend told me. It was like, explain our existence to a rabbit and see how much he comprehends it. Maybe it's something we don't even understand. Like it's
Right.
just maybe they're around us and we just don't get it because again, how much do rabbits know about our life, and our
Right.
intelligence and how we
They
study
just
and
know
we
when they
put them
see
in
us
their
to
little
run
cage to
away.
study them, like how do they know any of that? So it's like
Right.
maybe it's beyond our comprehension. So
That's
uh
true.
if alien
Um,
pods hit Earth, would you want to be privy to the government negotiations, or would you want to just ignorance is bliss it? I don't know if I worded that
um,
correctly, but you get what I mean.
I yeah, I want to know. I'm
Yeah.
a curious person. Yeah, I want to know for sure. I want to see what they look like. What have we had any communication with them? Are they? What are they? I mean, like the movie. What are they here for? Are they lost? Do they want to get back home? Yeah, I want to know for sure. Why not?
I mean, sure, I'd want to know. I doubt we would be privy to. I mean,
Oh,
the
would we be
idea.
privy to it? Yeah, I don't think they tell us.
No,
No.
I mean, with good reason though. Like the average people don't. I mean, you know how people handle complex things,
Right.
and just like if it's at any degree of complexity, they just chalk it up to a conspiracy theory. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I would understand, I would want to know, but I would understand why they would keep it under wraps if they're not already doing so. So,
Yeah,
um,
it makes me ironically this movie made me think of that the one scene from Men in Black where the first one where they're on the park bench and he first learned about aliens and shit and he's like, "Well, I think people can handle it and know if they're aliens, whatever." And he's like, "No, they can't." He's like, "A person is smart. People are dumb, stupid, and scary, and you know it."
yeah.
And this movie just did an excellent job of illustrating that.
I mean, just imagine if CNN tonight just broke the news that like we have linguists talking to heptapods and they're
Yeah.
communicating in a non-linear language format that might be, they're communicating whole stories in a circle.
Yeah.
And like you think you
And
think
you
these
now
people will be
can
able to
see the
handle this?
future.
There's still people who think the 2020 election was rigged and they've seen every piece of evidence.
Right.
Like it's people who
Yeah,
thinks
that's true.
vaccines cause, you know,
Autism.
all kinds of shit. So like no,
Yeah.
I don't believe that like he said, people are smart. Well, he said a
A
person can
person
be
is smart.
smart, but people are stupid.
Hmm.
I would not argue in the contrary.
Yeah,
So,
that's valid. We saw how we reacted to the. Actually, no, yeah, they wouldn't tell us because the way people reacted over things like the pandemic when they just bought all the toilet paper for no reason, or the way they acted over the Popeye chicken sandwich,
yeah.
we could never know. They'd never tell us about aliens.
That OG chicken sandwich was the truth, though.
Oh, it was. Oh, I still get it all the time.
Well, it ain't like it wasn't like the OG run. But no, I mean, listen, yeah, the people collective action, it's doesn't really work that well. So I would
Yeah.
understand why, especially when you have to coordinate with all of the world's governments. Like,
Right.
I have a call back to something later that I want to spoil, but like, yeah, it's hard. So, you got anything else for
Yeah.
Act One?
Yeah, I got two more observations. Well, actually, I guess three more. So one, the idea of Jeremy Renner playing a theoretical physicist is hilarious because he don't even know what with all due respect. I'm sure he's a smart guy, but he just doesn't look like he's smart enough to play a theoretical physicist.
Well, to be fair, in the movie, he was just kind of like guy number two.
Yeah, that's true.
He
He
was
was
just
just
kind
like,
of
dude,
standing
there.
next to her doing
Yeah,
nothing. They didn't really give him a lot to work with.
that's true.
They just
Yeah,
needed a stand-in for the big reveal later.
right.
So he got a good check out of it, but I
Yeah,
think he was just tired of being Hawkeye for a little bit. This was peak MCU, so he's like, "Hey
true.
man, I get to just talk to Amy Adams for." That's all he did was just talk to Amy
Just
Adams
talk to
for.
Amy Adams, which is not a
He,
bad way to make a living.
no man, Amy Adams was she even? I don't think she was even nominated
She
for this.
wasn't nominated. That's the crazy part.
She
She was
carried this
incredible in this
motherfucker
movie.
though. So
No, she did. Her and them CGI aliens.
yeah,
Um,
Forrest Whitaker held it down. Forrest
oh
Whitaker
yeah,
was
Forrest
yeah.
Whitaker was good too. He's always
Uh,
great.
One of the great
And
actors of our time.
correct. He's kind of like the Black Walter Goggins.
Yeah, a
Uh,
little bit.
what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so shout out to Denis Villeneuve, I believe is how you say his name. He's a French-Canadian director. He directed this movie.
Yeah.
He also directed the Dune series. I'm excited for what's called Doomsday, December 18th, where Doomsday Avengers movie and then Dune 3 come out the same day. I think I'm just gonna spend 8 hours in a movie theater. It's gonna be the best day ever.
There's no
Uh,
chance those two movies come out on the same weekend. I
no, they are. Yeah, it's like Barbenheimer 2.0.
I will believe it when I see it. There's not enough
Okay.
IMAX theaters to go
The
around.
release dates are set.
I I'll believe it when I see it. Before the no other reason than like why would you step on the dope like that? Like you need the
That's
I
fair.
yeah, yeah, it's just like those would well first of all, like I don't know which theater you go to, but mine has one IMAX theater. So like what are they gonna do?
Okay.
Like fight in theater? Like like who's gonna go to? Like it's just I'll believe it when I see it. I know
Yeah.
that's what they say.
Okay.
I'll believe it when I see
Okay.
it.
I hear you. I hear you. If they do go through with it, I will be there. Um, and then I also wanted to say, like, I love the we talk a lot about storytelling on this when we do our movie reviews, and this movie is first of all a masterclass in storytelling. Um, the epitome of like excellent nonlinear storytelling, as well. But also just I love the way they showed like the loss of her child
Yeah.
without making it um a
It's presented
gimmick
as
or
flashbacks, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, presented as flashbacks. They don't make it a gimmick. They don't make
Yeah.
it, her whole personality, but they show just the way that grief, quote unquote, as what we know in Act One to be what it is. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was like super intelligent.
And they didn't there was no narrator to tell you. Like it just happened. You didn't really know. You had to watch the movie. And
Hmm.
this is a reoccurring theme on this pod, but like movies, you can tell when a movie was made before ubiquitous smartphones because
Yes,
there's no unnecessary exposition. She's not coming to work and being like, I'm sad because
I
my
can't
daughter
work
died.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
and that's what would
yeah,
happen. I promise you,
yeah.
once you see it, you can't unsee it. When you watch a movie today, people walk in the room and just explain the plot to you. I
They do.
it's like
They're like, if
um
we don't get this object, the whole world's gonna fall apart.
it's it's like, oh my God, I'm so tired because I didn't get any sleep because my daughter died. Okay. Okay. Endless
I'm in
exposition.
grief.
We're gonna go get a grief. Then they'll do shit like, let's go get a grief tattoo. Like, it's sitting,
Oh
have a whole scene
yeah,
where she gets a tattoo
yeah,
that says, I'm grieving. It's like, oh my
yeah.
God. You couldn't
Yeah,
find a more subtle way to do this?
right. Yeah, or they're in
Oh,
like a an Alcoholics Anonymous for grieving people. I don't know what they
yeah.
call
Oh,
it.
that
Like
trope.
group therapy, I guess. Yeah, yeah,
And they use that scene for the character to get up and tell the story. I
yeah. Yep.
what's your name? Hi, I'm so, and then this is why I'm grieving. And it's like,
Yeah.
you just such lazy storytelling.
Correct.
Anything else for Act One?
No, that was all I had for Act One.
Moving into Act Two, Luis makes a breakthrough with the heptapods, realizing that their language isn't linear like ours, it's circular. As she immerses herself in their symbols, her perception of her own life begins to fracture and shift. Was I the only one who thought that was Joaquin Phoenix for a minute?
Where?
The white guy in the I forget his name, but like I was
The
just like,
soldier?
no, it's like I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but there's one guy in the movie. I was like, did they get Joaquin Phoenix for a non-named random character actor role? But no,
Uh,
maybe it's
I
just
think I
me.
know. I think I know what you're talking about. I didn't think that was him though. If I'm thinking of who I think you're thinking of,
It was like I thought it was him for like a half a second before I
he was like on
thought.
the phone with his wife.
No, he's just like he's on the
Oh,
base and he's talking to him and he's like the straight guy. He's not a military person. He's just a white guy
oh,
in a
oh,
button
yeah, yeah,
shirt.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
And I was just
Oh,
I
oh, oh. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, with the long hair.
yeah, and I'm just like,
Okay.
well, Joaquin Phoenix would be on the fucking poster if he was in this movie. So no.
Right.
But I thought it was for a second.
That's funny.
But yeah,
I
that's
can see
what else
that.
you
I can
got
see
for
that
Act
now.
Two?
Um. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you. They have the bird in the cage when they're talking to the aliens.
Yeah,
What did you think was the purpose of that?
I don't know. I had nothing.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, like the second act got a little dry.
It did. It did.
You could tell. So this was based off of a short story.
Hmm.
And you could just tell they kind of stretched. It
Filled
was
it
under
in.
2 hours, but they needed, you can't have a 90-minute movie. But this was
Yeah, I
based
think
off
it
of.
the
Go
yeah, I
ahead,
think the
sorry.
novella was like 70, 80 pages, something like that.
Yeah, and so like a novel's like 300 pages, and this
Right.
is the part where you could tell they were kind of like, all right, let's get to the because the ending's so great, we just gotta put some pad
Yeah,
the
the
stats a
ending
little
is
bit.
the payoff is huge and it is worth it. But yeah, I agree. Because I was like, is the bird, is that supposed to be some sort of like comparative metric to the way they communicate, almost like a metronome or something like that? I didn't really understand what that was.
Yeah, they kind of lost me for a little bit
Yeah.
on that one. But I will say it does illustrate though how an underrated technological invention and the reason why we're ahead of the food chain is just language.
Yeah.
We being able to communicate to your fellow caveman, hey, that around that corner is a giant bear. Don't do that. Is
Yeah.
an advantage that we have over other species who just can't communicate as effectively. They have communication
Yeah.
ways, but like
As
we
easily.
can,
Yeah.
the dexterity and the level of nuance within our conversation is just so
Hmm.
beyond, our main predators, wolves or whatever. Like they can't coordinate the
Right.
same way we can coordinate. And you combine that with tools and fire and eventually guns, we dominate, we wreck shit. So I do love how the film emphasizes just how you take it you take it for granted,
Hmm.
especially being an English speaking person. Because even when we travel places outside of the country, most of those
Yeah.
countries have English in their curriculum, and it makes it things easier.
You
But
forget that that's not normal.
if you've ever been to a place where everyone spoke a language and you didn't, you realize quickly just how alienating and how frustrating that can be. So
Yeah.
I do love how they, use basic things like human, food, dog, love, and just
Hmm.
trying to decode it that way. I thought that was brilliant how they handled
Me
that.
too.
So
Yeah, I really like the way that scene where she broke down the sentence
yeah,
of what is your purpose here on Earth, and she kind of was like, well, they have to know what Earth is. They have to, know what Y is, so on and so forth. And then also, we communicate in linear in one sentence, the beginning, middle, end. Whereas they're again, like I said, it's a circle. They're communicating. Like she said, it was like two ends who know where each other's. You have to know where the beginning and the end are, so they can meet in the middle. But to know that you have to know what the middle is,
right.
I thought that was a really cool way of breaking that down. Uh, it almost that scene kind of reminded me of like it's almost like that's why that movie Memento didn't work
Yeah.
because they didn't properly illustrate that the beginning and the middle and the end were all the same.
Yeah, Memento didn't give you enough and it
Yeah,
was like you said, it was non-linear and you can do that, but you have to it was disorienting and it can't be disorienting. You
yeah,
can be non-linear, but you can't be like confusing and
right.
Pulp Fiction, one of the greatest movies of all time is non-linear, but you don't feel completely lost. You like
Yeah, it makes
when you're
sense.
in a scene that scene makes sense. It's just out of order with what else is going on. But like I was watching
Right.
Memento and I'm like, I just can't follow this. I don't know
Yeah.
where this person like it's just confused. Was not a fan of that movie. I
Yeah,
think it
me
got a
neither.
2 star for me. So
Yeah, it outsmarted itself. What was I gonna say? I did love the chess metaphor that she used when she was
yeah,
talking to, I think, Forrest Whitaker's character, where she was saying that the other country, I think it was maybe Venezuela or China, was they were playing games to communicate with the aliens, and she was like, "That's not good because that's a binary result, win or lose,
right.
competition, life, death, and you don't want that because if they accept a loss as defeat, they're gonna want to
Yeah.
dominate you, and we're already at a loss because you got these 12 pods around the world. These two aliens are fucking 50 feet tall. What are you gonna do when they send the rest of them?
When you don't have a shared mode of communication, you just no way to understand how they're going to take disappointment. Like, you
Correct.
beat a toddler at chess and they think literally the world might end, And it's like, how
Right.
do you know that they understand that it's a fucking board game? Like it
Right.
doesn't really matter that you lose. We can just put the pieces back on the board and do it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Language is the tie that binds. And until you have to communicate. Well, now they've fixed it. Like my boy just was in South Korea and he's just like, nah, just use AI translators and I just talk in English and they just talk back in their language or in Korean and
Hmm.
it just instantly translates. Like you don't even have to type it
Oh,
anymore.
that's cool.
And I was like, that's pretty dope. Which,
Yes,
could
clutch.
it's, as someone who aspires to do some international travel, that would make things a lot easier. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, anything else for Act Two?
Um, no, that's all I got for Act Two.
All right, Act Two, the dry middle, we're gonna call that of Act
Yeah.
Three. Now, the non-zero sum game. Global tensions reach a breaking point as nations prepare to attack the ships. Luis must take a massive leap of faith using her new understanding of time to prevent a global war and fulfill a destiny she's only just beginning to understand. So hear me out.
Okay.
It almost felt a little like Game of Thrones, where like the
Okay.
heptapods were the White Walkers, and all of the
Hmm.
politics of Earth was just kind of like the biggest thing in the world to them. But like there's this
Hmm.
existential threat that if you don't coordinate and deal with, doesn't matter who's on the throne. It doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
Daenerys or Cersei or whatever.
Right.
And so like the third act when well, we're beefing with China, we're beefing with this, and I just kept thinking the White Walkers are here. Y'all need to
Yeah.
figure this shit out
Yeah.
because winter is coming. And that was a core
That's a
premise.
great parallel.
Yeah, like that was the core premise of George R. R. Martin's whole book was like the White Walkers represented like was meant, but he didn't finish it, but it was meant to make all the politics of Westeros feel so small when they
Right.
finally and then the TV show botched it, but that was the point.
Right.
So yeah, so I was like, this feels like White Walkers. So yeah, that's my corollary, whatever you want to call it. So
Okay.
what you got for Act Three?
That's a great point. I like that. I agree. I think that's a great point. I also think that to me, well, there's several messages of the film. One of the films is that, we're trying to communicate with these aliens, but the truth is we can't communicate with the aliens because we can't communicate with each other. We are foreign life forms to each other,
Yeah.
different races, different countries, different genders, different sexualities, all that come into play. I mean, we're supposed to be correlating with each other. We don't know what the hell the aliens are saying,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, let's just all stop talking to each other." What the fucking sense does that make?
And then you find out, like you said, Venezuela's communicating in a way that you disagree with because,
Right.
whatever. And I'm sure they would disagree with the way she's doing it or, you know, yeah, it's hard. This planet is big and people have entrenched beliefs and tribalism
Hmm.
and, it these things are hard. It's hard to coordinate, it's hard to collaborate. And when you
Yeah.
have to do it at such a scale, at global scale, the only thing humans have been good at is war. And so,
Yeah.
we've been fighting over pieces of land for affinity. So,
Hmm.
the idea that you would think that an alien invasion would tighten us up and get us to a coordinate, but you even saw in this movie, like when the damn things are on the ground, we're still bickering. So,
Correct.
you know,
Yep. It's almost like, if there's a deadly virus that's going around that's killing lots of people that we don't know what it is, and four other governments could coordinate and get themselves together. Sounds like 2020 to me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
the thing is that we're if another one hits, God only knows how less cooperative people will be then. And
yeah,
and I get it in the sense that like I was sick of being in the house too. I'm not gonna act like I strictly adhered to all COVID policies during that summer.
right.
But these things are hard. And everyone has their own interest, and everyone wants to do what's
Hmm.
best for them. And you want to do what's best for you without being taken advantage of. And if you feel like if you're sacrificing and the other side isn't, or your country is doing this and that country is doing it the wrong way, it's just,
Then you're like, what's the point?
what's the point? We might as well just do it for ourselves. And, it
Hmm.
just becomes, it's just easier to look out for your own. So I get it.
Correct. Yeah. What else? Oh, just the scene where they kind of crack the code of basically the purpose of the not purpose, but just the communication style of the aliens, where he had that simulator show like the distance between the languages or
Yeah.
sentences, if you will, where it's like it was some crazy number. Things like the fraction is 1 out of 12. Meaning that they all need to communicate. They're all communicating with each other, so we need to communicate with each other so we can figure out what these each individual pod is doing and what they want from us. I thought that was really cool. Um, and it just showed like, it's always easier to it's just easier to go, what they say, further together.
Yeah,
Um, Faster by yourself, further together, and it's easy for them, the aliens, to coordinate because they were on one accord.
yeah,
If they were going to destroy us, they would have won because they were working together. We
yeah.
weren't, and we were already at war with ourselves, with each other rather. And um, the fact that they were going to kill her for trying to crack the code, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, well, for all we know, the aliens were a monoculture, though. Like, it's easier to coordinate when
Mhm.
it's just you and your people versus,
Yeah,
10 countries with, different cultures and different motivations and different languages and different da 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 da.
yeah,
So, I mean, it really was a testament to like one side was on one accord and, one side was a band on every member was on a different key. So,
yep.
um, you know, we should tell the people the big reveal or
About to say yeah, so then we can actually talk about
big reveal
it.
is that the flashbacks were not flashbacks; they were flash forwards, and she ended up marrying and having a child with Jeremy Renner's character, and the child ended up dying of I don't know what specific cancer, but young childhood cancer. And
Mhm.
Jeremy Renner ends up leaving her because she knew it was going to happen, and she went forward with it, And so it's like a
And told him, yeah,
told him that she knew it was going to happen, and it's just one of those things like having the love was worth it, even if it was only for a short period of time. And so she
yeah,
knew telling it, I mean, she knew everything. She knew the kid was going to die. She knew he was going to leave her because he knew, or he was going to leave her because she knew.
she knew.
And she wrote a book about it. Probably made some M's. So I'm sure the book sold a lot of copies.
Right,
So
yeah, I talked to aliens and
yeah, I'd buy the book. Fuck it.
hell yeah.
Be a fucking great book. Not even science fiction, just science real. Yeah, man.
Science fact.
Yeah, big fact, Star Wars, but real. I'm into it.
Hashtag really though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved that's what my favorite part of the thing about the movie is the message at the end where
yeah,
basically it's not just choose love, but choose love over fear.
yeah,
Because she could have just not gotten together with him
yeah.
and lived the rest of her life without her soulmate. But she chose to go into it knowing she was had to gain everything to basically lose everything because that's ultimately what life is at the end of the day. And I just thought that was a really beautiful message. I guess you could perceive it as being selfish because they both lost, but I think at the end of the day, as sad as he was about losing the child, I think he'd rather have grieved her than never had her.
Yeah, I mean, selfish is strong, but I see how that goes. But like,
Mhm.
you know, what was she supposed to do? Not marry the love of her life and not have
Right.
a child and not experience that joy. Um, and however short-lived it was, I'm sure
Hmm.
it was worth it. I mean, clearly it was worth it for her. She had to go through with it.
Right.
So let me ask you, would you like if you could not, I mean, obviously not a world-renowned linguist talking to aliens, but like if you could just press a button and
Mm.
see how the rest of your life is laid out, would you want to know?
Mm. It's interesting. I was actually having a similar conversation with some friends about that a few days ago. Right now in my life, I feel like I don't know what the fuck's happening or what's going on or where I'm going to be. So I do feel a bit rudderless. Would I want to know the answer? Honestly, no. I think I'd be afraid of it either way. If it was good, I'd be afraid of it. If it was bad, I'd be afraid of it. So I'd say I wouldn't want to know.
I wouldn't either. And I'm super plan things out, super organized, but I wouldn't want to know, man.
Yeah.
I'm bit, I know I've used this word. The audience could probably drink at this point when I say this word, serendipity.
Yeah.
That matters, man. The randomness, the bumping into an old friend at the coffee shop, the going to the office and the dumb things you overhear from your coworkers that
Yeah.
they, whatever, like that stuff matters, and that stuff is that fills in. Those are the filler episodes of life, and that gives like if you ever
Yeah.
watch a sitcom, the problem with these new sitcoms, there's no filler, and people don't want filler, but like the filler is what makes the world feel lived in.
Right.
Those episodes of Martin where they were just like the locked in like there's an episode where it's clearly what's called a bottleneck episode where they're like trying to
Hmm.
save production costs, so they just put everyone in one room for
In
the
a one
episode.
room, yeah,
Yeah, and so like they're snowed into Martin's apartment, and
right,
it's one of my favorite episodes, man. And they never leave the room. It's clearly a bottleneck episode. Nothing happens. It's
yeah,
just, but like those are the filler episodes of life, and what the filler episodes of a sitcom is what gives the sitcom, it makes it feel alive. And like,
hmm
if you take all of that out and you just play the highlight reel of your life, there's no joy in that. There's a lot. The
right,
mystery of life is what makes it worth it. And
correct.
so no, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want to know the future.
Yeah, I agree. I
Short of
think
like the
the
lottery numbers or some shit like that.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
Yeah, I agree. I think the lowlights make the highlights, you know.
right.
I think like if I also just humans are just weird, just masters. Like you said, the only thing we humans beings have gotten right is war.
Yeah,
And what we do best is self-destruction. Like if you knew if something good for you was coming at the end of the road, you would ruin it. If you knew something bad for you was coming at the road, you would avoid it so much that you would make it 10 times worse, you know? So I just think that I wouldn't want to know how my life played out. Because I wouldn't like if I knew like in 5 days I was going to meet my soulmate and in 30 days I was going to get like some great financial blessing or whatever, I would probably, be outside all the time trying to like see if I could meet her a day or two
yeah.
earlier to have one more day, and that would maybe fuck things up, and maybe something else would happen, and that would change the ripples, and then I wouldn't meet her, or I would slack off at work, and
Yeah.
then you know what I mean, shit like that.
I'm about to
It's
be up
just
some L's. What I need to do
yeah,
this
about to be
assignment for?
right, right, right,
Fuck these deliverables. I'm finna hit the lottery, and then
right.
you might not know, but you fucking with the timeline by slacking at work, which fucks up
Yeah,
whatever.
your
Like,
karma
yeah,
of getting the lottery or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I just think that we I saw this interview with Robert Downey Jr. He said that so much of life and being successful for me is what I learned is like knowing that there's like an invisible tether
yeah.
like pulling you towards things, but also knowing when to just like get out of my own way and just like let things be and exist and happen on their own, you know? Um, I think of the times where like say like for example you were maybe you texted a girl you liked and you were like nervous about like oh shit what if she didn't hit me back and then you maybe you don't double text or you say something crazy because you're mad she didn't hit you upset she didn't hit you back whatever and that may have ruined it because she was about to hit you back or
Right.
just shit like that like it's just so easy to ruin a good thing. It's best to just leave some things to the universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, and let those things work for you.
To call back to an episode we actually recorded earlier today, that's my theory why dating apps suck. You can't life hack life dating like that. Like you can't
No, you
just
can't.
take remove all of the chance and remove all the fun and the bumping into.
Hmm.
You ever bump into somebody at a club, at a bar, at a coffee shop, and you just look
Yeah,
at her and she looks at you and it's just like,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're not gonna get that when you've been doing this and
And you're asking, oh, what are
algorithmically
you looking
matching.
for in a
Yeah, it's
relationship?
just no, man. Like you can't life hack. Like you said, the lows make the highs, and the randomness makes it fun. And
Yeah,
when you're trying to game it, when you're trying to beat when you treat date like a video game that you got to beat, yeah, it's
right.
just you're not going to be happy. It's not going to lead you to fulfill. I mean, there's some people. Certainly, I had no friends who've met their forever person on a dating app, but they're
Hmm.
few and far between. So,
Right.
stop trying to remove the randomness from life. And I say this as someone who, plans a lot. So, if
Yeah.
I can deal with randomness, then you can as well. The royal you, not you. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think one of my favorite quotes of all time is you never run into if you notice when someone's like not longer supposed to be in your life, it's because you never run into them ever again.
yeah,
You never see them ever again. Like same thing with like the dating apps. Like you see them on dating apps because you would never meet them in real life because your paths weren't supposed to
yeah,
cross. That's why it goes so bad most of the time.
yeah. And it's just like when you meet someone in the real world, you're selecting for someone that travels in the spaces that you travel. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, when you're just swiping and you're just like, well, where do you want to meet? And she's like, well, I like to hike. And you're like, well, I like to go to arcades. All right.
Bowling or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, but if you met someone hiking, you would know, like, that's
That they
why
like hiking.
run clubs are taking off. If you like fitness and you like running and you like other fit people who like to run, well,
Yeah.
there you go. You're selecting for people who
You
enjoy the
found your
things that you
people.
like. Yeah. And it's like, that's why. Join a pool club, join a run club, join a book club, do anything but fucking hop on Tinder and try to
Yeah.
game it, you know? So,
Yeah.
you got anything else for Act 3?
Yeah, I was just say, yeah, do the things you love, and I feel like you'll that's how you meet the people you're supposed to love.
Yeah.
Um, oh, also, I did love the fact that her child's name Hannah was basically a metaphor for the story itself. The fact that it was, if you say it back, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the same. It's the same name, and it's the circular storytelling. The fact that I think they said you begin and end. You begin have the beginning and the end, then they meet in the middle, and that's pretty much what Hannah's name does.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really really cool detail.
I did not even catch that. So, good call.
Appreciate it. Do you have any questions?
No, that was all I had. The only thing I had the question was if you could press the button. So, what do you rate it?
I love this movie. The payoff was so great. I have to give it 5 stars.
Wow.
It really sat with me at the end, man. I was like, damn. Like I just really was like, fuck, that's fucking some great storytelling, man. Yeah, even you helped something click for me too when they kept asking, what is your purpose here on Earth? And that's what the movie's about, which I added for some reason I didn't think about. I was just thinking about like, the love over fear.
Yeah.
And her purpose on Earth was to be a mother and to love her husband. And she did that even though she knew that her heart was going to be broken.
Yeah, I love this movie as well. I'm gonna go four because the middle dragged a little bit. But you know, find a good book, make it a movie. This I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I saw it in theaters when the OG came out, and I just kind of it just kind of was got lost in history, even though it's pretty star-studded. And
Yeah.
but it's just I don't know. I just remember I don't even know how we got to watch it, but good movie, great movie. Give it a
Yeah.
four. Yeah.
And for the listeners, you have to watch this and pay attention. Do not be scrolling on your phone because you won't know what the hell's what the
No,
hell's happening.
no. All right. Thanks for listening. My name is Darius. That's D's all up in the area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan. That's Jordy B writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, and subscribe. We are at Out the Trunk Pod on all socials. That is Out the Trunk Pod on all socials.
And if for any ongoing movie recommendations, feel free to reach out to us via email at outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming to the movies with us. Come back next week. We're reviewing About Time.
Thank
Y'all take it
y'all.
easy.